Merry Christmas Eve, my community, my beloved community. Love you all. And guess what? We've gotten over 2 inches of rain overnight, and we had about a 60-mile-an-hour gust move through here around 4 a.m. So those of you east of us, it's coming. But boy, is the rain really coming down. And you can see the puddle back there around that pool. So it is flooded, and we are under a flood warning. Let's get going, guys. So the first thing I do is I unload my dishwasher so that I can load up my dishes as I use them this morning. And then I don't have a big mess when I'm done. And believe you me, guys, I will run that dishwasher 2 or 3 times today to stay ahead of the game. So it's Christmas Eve. I cook my turkey a day in advance, so it frees me up Christmas morning to get other things done. And all we have to do, Greg is able to go ahead and slice the turkey, and then we can heat it up in the oven and not take up much room as we're cooking our other things. So I have my Tom or my Tammy out. I don't know which one it is. And we don't, here in the South, make stuffing to go into the bird, or we don't stuff the bird. But what we do, or with bread stuffing, I should say, but what we do, is we stuff it with onions and carrots and celery. And that gives it, like when it steams up, it gives it the flavors of the vegetables up through the carcass of the turkey. And we're going to stuff it pretty tight here because we want all that flavor. Now it's time to get her bathed, or him or her, bathed up in a little bit of olive oil. We're going to give them a good massage. So it is still pouring down out there, guys. It's going to be a very rainy day much of today. So it is a good day, a great day to cook. And I'll make a lot of things today. So we made the mashed potatoes yesterday, Greg did. And today we're going to make the turkey and the dressing. And he's going to also smoke a turkey that he has brining in the fridge, because we do have quite a bit of people come over. We usually have between 20 and 25 folks come in. So we need to make sure we have enough food. So next, I'm going to use some pink Himalayan salt. We're going to salt down our turkey. And we're going to use some black pepper. And then we're going to use some rosemary. This is rosemary from our garden that we freeze dried. If y'all bought it from us, you know how delicious it is and how flavorful it is. And how aromatic. I think that's my most favorite thing, is how aromatic it is when you first open it up and start to use it. So next, I'm going to put it in the oven and I'm going to let it roast a little bit. And then, after it gets a good color, I'm going to cover it with some foil so it'll steam. Now, you don't have to cover it with foil. You can just cook it like that without, but then you'll have to baste it, guys, about every 30 minutes. Here are the seasonings I just used when I was rubbing my turkey down. Guys, I'm not going to use this on anything else because I could have contaminated it, and that's why I put it in the little dishes, so that I'm not contaminating my salt and pepper shakers or anything else. So this is going to go in the trash. Next, I'm going to start making my gravy with my giblets and the neck. So I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of this pot. We're going to go ahead and turn it up a little bit. And I'm going to add the giblets and the neck. Now, when you're handling pork and chicken, poultry, any kind of poultry, food safety is paramount, guys. You want to make sure that you're washing your hands constantly after handling any of the turkey, or the turkey giblets, or the neck, and wash frequently. So what we're doing is we're browning up the giblets in the neck, and we're going to add some onion. Now you'll notice in most of my recipes so far, I use a lot of celery, carrots, and onions for the turkey, for the gravy, and for the stuffing. Now we call it dressing here. I know up north you guys call it stuffing. So the terminology is interchangeable. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of white wine. Not much. And a little bit of chicken broth. Not much. And I may go ahead and need to add some water to this. My hands ain't working this morning. Sorry, guys. And then I'll need this chicken broth for my stuffing later. So I'm going to pop it in the fridge. I've turned down my heat. And we're just going to let this brown and saute a little bit in here. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Now this will give us the base for our giblet gravy that we'll serve up tomorrow. And I do go ahead and make this in advance because I can just heat this up. And we will add some of the turkey juices to it as they become available. I'm going to put the lid on there. We don't want it completely sealed, guys, because we want it to simmer for about an hour. I'm chopping up more onions to get ready for my stuffing because you know I do the stovetop hack. You don't want to throw those away, guys. You want to put them in a bag and throw them in the freezer because you can use these to make your broths with, your bone broths, your chicken broths, or chicken noodle soup, anything that you're going to make a broth where you're going to let it simmer a long time. These are perfect. For my stuffing, I'm going to dice my onions because we're going to saute these with some celery and maybe a little bit of sage that we will add to our stovetop stuffing mix. And it will give it that homemade flavor and that homemade look and that homemade flair. So dice you up some onions. And dice you up some celery. Now guys, I do not have chef's knife skills. Greg does. He does pretty well with it, but you know, I just do the best I can. So I'm just long slicing these celery stalks in the middle. So it'll help me make smaller diced pieces. And we're just going to add this to our mixture of onions and pop that in the fridge so it's ready for us when we're going to mix it into our stovetop stuffing mix. And this is our scraps. I've turned my giblets down to low now, and I'm just going to let it simmer for about an hour. It is 6:35 in the morning, so we are getting started early. Now, my family and I have what we would call a traditional Christmas dinner, and that is going to be mashed potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole. I'll make some yams today, turkey, ham. A lot of people don't have turkey at Christmas. A lot of people do the prime rib. Or just ham, but because we have such a large group of folks that come to our house, we usually have to do a couple of meats so that there's enough to go around. Now I'm going to go ahead and saute my onions and carrots, getting ready for my dressing, or my onions and my celery. Sorry guys, a little bit of carrot in there. So I'm making 5 boxes of stovetop stuffing, and that'll fit quite nicely in one of those large foil pans, which you'll see here in a minute. But we want to go ahead and saute our our celery and our onions. I'm on that Trinity thing this morning, guys. So I'm using my iron skillet for that. Now this iron skillet is Greg's his great-great-grandmother. So these iron skillets that we use and you see frequently in my kitchen are probably over 100 years old. Now, we gave our grandson one because he learned to cook eggs this year with our eggs from our chickens. And it's a little personal size iron skillet that he will have for his family and his children someday. So it's really great to hand things down like that because, you know, when you start to use these things, you start thinking about the people in your past, and you start thinking about your family from years ago and how they did things and why they did things the way they did. So passing down cookware, anything that you think your kids are going to use or your grandkids are going to use for the holiday seasons, sometimes that's going to bring back favorable and wonderful memories for them. Now, I also wanted to tell you that I'm cooking that turkey at 325 degrees, and it's a 15-pound turkey, and you want to cook your turkey about 15 minutes per pound. So it's going to take several hours for that turkey, but I bet it's probably going to be ready around 10:30 or 11 since we started it close to 6, maybe even sooner, but I'll let you guys know. And it's cooking quite well. A couple of things you could add to your stuffing is you could add some breakfast sausage, or you could add some chorizo. A lot of people add sausages to their stuffing down here, or their dressing is what we call it. So you could add a little bit of anything that you want to dress up that stovetop stuffing dressing that I make. I did a video on that, and that usually this time of year, guys, usually goes pretty well, and it did around Thanksgiving. I'm not seeing the hits that I normally get around Christmas, or I'm not seeing the hits I get at Christmas are the same as Thanksgiving, because most people do most definitely have dressing or stuffing for Thanksgiving, but a lot of people don't for Christmas. I'm sauteing these in butter. I put about, I don't know, about 4 tablespoons of butter in there. And we're just going to cook these up till they get soft and flavorful, and I'm going to set them aside, and then we'll get to work on the stuffing, the dressing. I know that with all the newfangled kitchen gadgets that your kids may have, that iron skillets and glass bowls like the Corningware may not mean a lot to them right now. But guys, it sure will as they get older. I know a lot of people find iron skillets and stuff like that at garage sales, but don't sell your stuff. You want to hand it down. I'll turn this off. You want to hand it down to your kiddos as an heirloom, so that they can remember you at certain holidays when we've gone to our great reward. So I think I let these saute as long as I want. I'm going to set them aside and go ahead and make my stovetop stuffing. So you're going to make your stovetop stuffing exactly how it says on the box, with the exception of I'm not going to add the stuffing into the water once it boils. I'm going to add the water to the stuffing that I have in a foil tray over there and stir it up, and then I'll cover it up and it'll steam in that foil tray. I'll show you in just a minute. The water for the stuffing has come to a boil. So now you can see I've got the mix just in this pan, in this foil pan. This makes for easy cleanup, guys, when everything is said and done. And we're just going to mix this up. I'm going to go ahead and add my sauteed vegetables. Now again, you could add some sausage to this. A lot of people do chorizo, which is what a lot of people do here in Texas to spice it up. You could even add Eckrich sausage, you know, anything, any kind of meat that you might want to put in there. Or you could add up some of your canned turkey or your canned chicken. And we want to mix this up real good. So you know that when you make stovetop, you usually add the breadcrumb mix to your pan, but we're not going to do that here. We added it to this pan. It's quick cleanup for that pan I just took off the stove. And we're going to spread this around. And now we're going to put a lid on it and let it do its steaming. Now on to our sweet potato casserole. These are some of our sweet potatoes that we canned up, guys. What a treat. We're just going to heat these up for now. We have a treat this year for our sweet potatoes. So over here I've got brown sugar and a little bit of graham cracker crumbs. And then I have black walnuts from one of our community members, Mike and Michelle. Thank you so much. Guys, they harvested these walnuts off their property. They roasted them. They cured them for us. They chopped them up and they sent them to us. And we are so excited to use them. So thank you, Mike and Michelle. Next, we're going to go ahead and mash up our sweet potatoes. Again, we're using a small foil pan. And I'm going to sprinkle this brown sugar and this graham cracker crust, because tomorrow, guys, when I heat it up, it'll make a nice crust on top. And then I'm going to put those black walnuts on top. Now, a lot of people add marshmallows on top of their sweet potato casserole. You can do that if you want. But we're going to settle for this and our walnuts, because we have waited to use these walnuts since we got them not too long ago. All right. So guess what? Now our sweet potato casserole is ready to heat up in the morning. I'm going to cover it with foil, but guys, tomorrow when I heat it up, I'm going to uncover it so this will crust up. So my turkey has a good brown on it. I'm going to go ahead and cover it up with foil so it can bake a little longer. Now it's time, guys, to make our giblet gravy. And speaking of tradition, you see this butcher block here? It's close to 100 years old, and this came from Greg's uncle, who was a deer and elk processor in Colorado. So you're learning a little bit about our family today. So we're going to chop up these giblets, the kidney, the heart, from our turkeys. And I'll add a little bit of this to the top of the dressing or the stuffing. And I'll put the rest of it in our giblet gravy. So this is one of my hacks that I do. This simmered for a little over an hour. It's flavor rich with carrots and onions and celery and the turkey necks and all the innards of the turkey. So it is going to be delectable. So we're going to chop this up, mix it a little bit, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this. I think I need to do it a little bit finer, guys. We're going to add a little bit of it to our broth that we made over here. And what I'll do is, as that turkey continues to cook, is I'll add some of the turkey broth. But I'm also going to save quite a bit of it to add also to our stuffing tomorrow. And since Greg is going to slice that turkey today, we'll save the smoked for in the morning. But since he's going to slice that turkey today, I'll save some broth to drizzle over the turkey. I hear surges from this rain. We don't want to lose electricity today. But anyway, we'll save that broth to drizzle over the turkey and the dressing, so that they'll be moist. So I'm going to take this and set it aside for my stuffing over here. And this, my friends, is my hack. I add cream of chicken soup to beef up and to thicken my giblet gravy. if I can get it out. Now tomorrow, if it's not thick enough, I can add a little bit of starch to thicken it up. So this gravy is going to be delectable. So it's kind of a cross between a cream and a brown gravy. And this, I've done this hack for years. And it really gives it a thickening and a good flavor. So after this cools, I can put it in a Tupperware and I can just put it in the fridge and heat it up in the morning. And this will make a delicious gravy for your potatoes or your stuffing. I can even add some of the turkey broth to this tomorrow to make it go a little bit further, which is probably what I'll do. I'm going to mash up some of these carrots in here so that they're not so chunky. And this is going to be wonderful. So I got it mixed up pretty good. And guys, we're trying to lose electricity right now. And we just really can't afford to do that. We got to get our Christmas dinner done before. So together this morning, it is 8:30. We started at about 6, you may remember. We have got our turkey in. We've got her all seasoned up and all braised and ready to go. Got her stuffed. We got our sweet potatoes made, our sweet potato casserole. We have our stuffing made. Greg made potatoes yesterday. We got our giblet gravy made. So we are doing quite well this morning. And all we'll need to do is heat it up. Now, I'll be making the ham probably in the morning. Greg's going to put that turkey, the other turkey, on the smoker when the rain dies down. Guys, pray we don't run out of electricity. So far, we're good, and we got the bulk of it done. Thank the Lord for that. So my daughter's going to make the green bean casserole, or my son-in-law, actually. That's his favorite thing to do for us this time of year. And we have, our guests are going to be bringing sides. We should have an extravaganza of food. But you can see what the basics are for our Southern Christmas dinners here in Texas. But let's not forget, guys, what the most important reason is for us celebrating Christmas Day. And that is that the Lord our God sent his son into this world, Emmanuel, God with us, to save us from our sins. And that is the most wonderful gift that we could ever count on and that we could ever have, because our lives here on this earth are not just here. We will live eternally with him, and that is the wonderful gift that we have in Jesus. And that is why we celebrate Christmas. And I'm so thankful that all of my family is saved and that we are going to get to celebrate this joy tomorrow with a host of people. I'll do a quick video and show you how many people we have and what all the goods that we have, and to wish you a Merry Christmas. So lots of rain here, guys. East of us, look out, it's coming if it hadn't already hit you. We love you. Merry Christmas Eve. And I showed you the basics of what we have in a Southern Christmas dinner, and I'm sure we're going to have other wonderful things that are brought tomorrow. We love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Merry Christmas Eve. Be safe, and just thank the Lord for the blessings he has bestowed upon us. Amen.